Thank you for joining us today. My name is Julie Chen.
My name is Sophia Rodriguez.
And my name is Emily Pang.
And we are all students from Edgar Partnership High School in District 2.
And today we're going to be talking about Journey to the Business Achievements Awards, which is a action-adventure 2D side-scrolling game that requires the player to evade obstacles, collect items, and also to complete quests. This game works on any kind of computer.
The purpose of this game is to allow the user to complete different types of quests and levels which mirror the activities of the FBLA Business Achievement Awards program.
So these are the programs that we used, and these are the designs that we used.
And now we'll enter the gameplay. So once the user enters the game, he encounters the main menu screen, which is one of our interfaces, and the user has 4 options, and one of them is the settings menu, which allows the user to adjust the volume during the gameplay. And once he clicks the back button, you can select the instructions menu, which allows the user to understand how to interact with the game with different keys. And the 4th option is quit, which we'll demonstrate later on. And once you click the start button, you enter the intro level, which gives a short dialogue of how the plot begins in the game, where the main character is invited to FBLA, and there's on-screen instructions to help guide the user on how to play the game. And we have our pause menu here, which is another one of our interfaces, and we have 4 options that the user can use throughout the game. And now is the boss level.
So the first boss of the game represents the fear of failure and public rejection. It doesn't really do anything except to help the player learn the controls and to gain confidence. So after the main character defeats this boss, they will gain a leadership aspect. So then they can be invited into the FBLA council. Most of the characters are animals to show that there are some students that have not really found themselves yet, and to show an ambiguity to their identity, and yeah.
And on the side, you have your dialogue code, and here's some other scripts that we use throughout the demonstration. And on the screen is the level select stage, which represents the 4 levels of FBLA, and there are 4 different worlds which the player can enter, and each level is blocked off until they complete the previous level.
So the first level represents F, which represents future, and this focuses on the basic skills and emphasizes on the importance of FBLA on a local level. So as you can see, you have lives and coins at the top left, and these coins represent how much money you rate the club. And coins is our advanced feature because they save over the course of the levels. As you can see in the coin code, the player press line is actually what makes it save into the files. And the goal of this is to collect the objects to represent service tasks in order to obtain the service pin. And you collect stuff like the pen, as you said before, and the piece of paper. And as you can see, the game runs smoothly without interference, and there's no errors, and it's just a basic platforming level which you go through without jumping over obstacles and avoiding spikes and pitfalls. So this is the second sublevel. So this represents education. This is the FBLA general knowledge test. So basically it's just 5 questions, and the goal of this is to answer all the questions about the BAA correctly, so that way you obtain some knowledge about the BAA task. So how it works is basically you answer the questions, you pass on to the next level, the next question, and when you answer it correctly, you go on to the next question, and when you answer 3 questions, you go back to the first question. And if you fall into the gap, you can say you just go back to the one. So after this is So sublevel 3 is basically the goal is to be able to face the higher ups performing actions such as presenting and meeting leaders and recruiting other players. So the goal of this is to recruit this player right here and you're supposed to defeat him by shooting your pellets of confidence until you lose all his doubts on joining FBLA, and you're supposed to use your power to convince them to join FBLA. And once you actually do that correctly, and you defeat him, you successfully recruit him. And from there, you go on to the next world, which is B for business. And here we have the boss code. It's a little like the intro boss level, except now we added movement, so that way it's a little more complex.
And due to time constraints, here are just pictures of the other two levels that represent the leadership and America of FBLA. Each level gets increasingly more difficult than the previous ones. And also the art concept of this is modern fantasy. We try to use more vibrant colors to really engage with the younger demographic, more specifically to teenagers who would be interested in joining the BAAs. And we also thought this would be the most appropriate in addressing the FBLA BAA program.
And then at the end of the game, you have the ending scene, which shows the score that the player gained throughout the gameplay. And here you can see that there's multiple outcomes for the game, where the officers only show with the pins for each level if the player successfully completes the FBLA level. And here's our copyright documentation for our game. And thank you for your time.